Welcome to episode 202 of Build Your House Yourself University by BYHYU. I'm your host and fellow student, Michelle Nelson, and together we'll learn the basics of home design and construction and demystify the building process so we can build safe, quality dream homes with or without a general contractor. In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, now more than ever, we're aware of actions we can take to help prevent the spread and growth of viruses, bacteria, and other illness-causing microorganisms. And that got me to thinking, are there ways we can design our houses that will also help fight and prevent germs? Obviously, we can't completely eliminate microorganisms, and we shouldn't want to because some of them are beneficial. But what can we include or do in our new builds that will decrease the chances of unhealthy bacteria and viruses living and thriving in our homes? Before we dive in, I want to thank Riker I Hardly Know Her for our latest Apple Podcasts rating and review. Thank you for your kind, encouraging words and for taking the time out of your day to write a review. All right, let's get into the show. According to the World Health Organization, coronaviruses can survive on surfaces for a few hours up to several days. The survival time of COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria on surfaces depends on variables like the material, temperature, and humidity level of the surface. One of the most important things we can do during this pandemic and afterward to keep our homes free of outside germs is to thoroughly wash and sanitize our hands. We should clean our hands throughout the day and especially as soon as we enter our homes. The first stop after we come into the house should be a sink, where we can wash off whatever bacteria and viruses we may have inadvertently brought into the house. Okay, I've got a confession. I'm a germaphobe. I may have told you that before, but I'm the girl who sprays down the entire hotel room, including and especially the TV remote, whenever I travel. But I realize that no matter how clean our homes or hotel rooms appear, there will always be some microorganisms lurking around, and that most of our immune systems can handle them. But there are some choices we can make in designing our homes that will make it more difficult for germs to live there. If we take some tips from hospital and commercial kitchen design and choose more germ-resistant surfaces and appliances, we can keep our homes healthier. So here are 9 tips for designing a germ-resistant house. You don't have to utilize all these tips in order to reduce indoor microorganisms. But if reducing germs is important to you, choose the suggestions that make the most sense for your life, budget, and style. Number 1, avoid hard-to-reach and difficult-to-clean areas. Have fewer tight corners around furniture, appliances, and vanities where food, dirt, and moisture can hide. Either push objects so close to each other that it's difficult for debris and moisture to get into the corners and crevices, or space pieces far enough apart so cleaning between structures is fairly easy. And think about having less open space above tall cabinets where dirt and grime can literally stick and stay. Number 2, reduce seams and grout lines. Make countertops, shower walls, backsplashes, and floors as smooth and crevice-free as possible. Again, so microorganisms from dirt and moisture can't thrive. Choose site-finished hardwood floors without crevices between planks. To learn more about site-finished hardwood floors, also called unfinished hardwood floors, check out episode 35, called Hardwood Floors 102. To decrease grout lines, opt for large format tiles or slabs instead of small-scale tiles with lots of grout. Where grout is required, consider adding an antimicrobial additive or sealer, or request non-porous, moisture and stain-resistant epoxy grout, which you can hear about in episode 61. Be sure the epoxy grout is labeled as antimicrobial, which means it resists illness-causing microorganisms. Some websites say that all epoxy grout is naturally antimicrobial, while other sites say an additive is needed for epoxy grout to be most effectively antimicrobial. Number 3, choose simple lines for high-touch surfaces. Avoid overly complicated, and ornate designs with lots of curves and nooks and crannies. This is especially important for high-touch surfaces like doorknobs and door levers, handles and knobs of appliances and fixtures, including faucet handles, cabinet hardware, buttons, and railings. Flat, smooth surfaces are easier to clean and less likely to allow microorganisms to accumulate. Number 4, choose non-porous surfaces wherever they make sense. Surfaces like stainless steel, glass, quartz, glazed tiles, and man-made porcelain slabs are all non-porous and easier to keep clean and sanitized. Non-porous quartz and man-made porcelain slabs, which are often used for countertops, are also antimicrobial. Natural stone, like marble, granite, limestone, and quartzite, and also unglazed ceramic and porcelain tiles are all porous. Those porous surfaces allow for moisture, liquid foods like raw eggs and juices from raw meat, and microorganisms to seep in. This can cause microorganisms to stick around and possibly grow. Somewhat necessary porous materials such as rugs, wood, upholstery, linens, and curtains should be able to be washed, shampooed, or dry cleaned on a regular basis. There are also some fabrics, carpets, and rugs on the market that have had antimicrobial agents added to them. But the jury is still out about whether these antimicrobial items will do you more harm than good. Laboratory studies conducted at the Food and Drug Administration have raised the possibility that too much of certain antibacterial agents can contribute to making everyday bacteria resistant to antibiotics. That means we'd need stronger and stronger antibiotics to fight common infections. In moisture-prone areas where many bacteria, viruses, and mold spores thrive, think bathroom grout. In those areas, it's probably not a bad idea to add an antimicrobial sealant or additive. But for drier materials like rugs and upholstery, you might want to think twice about an antimicrobial additive. Number 5, choose naturally antimicrobial metal surfaces. Copper and copper-containing alloys like brass and bronze naturally destroy a wide range of microorganisms. The Environmental Protection Agency has proven that copper and copper alloys kill bacteria, and laboratory research suggests that they have some antiviral properties as well. Consider choosing copper, brass, or bronze faucets, doorknobs, or sinks. Number 6, go touchless. The less we touch surfaces around the house, the less likely we are to transfer and spread possible illness-causing microorganisms. Today's marketplace includes many touchless options for the home, including touchless motion-sensitive toilets that flush at the swipe of a hand, touchless faucets, liquid soap dispensers, trash bins, and light switches. You might also invest in touchless, humidity-sensitive exhaust fans in your bathrooms. These exhaust fans automatically turn on and stay on when humidity levels are high. This offers some protection against microorganisms since, as I alluded to earlier, many germs require moisture for survival and growth. Eliminate high levels of humidity in your house, and you'll likely decrease the number of microorganisms. The International Well Building Institute suggests indoor humidity between 30 and 50%. Number 7, choose appliances certified by the NSF, which stands for National Sanitation Foundation International. The NSF is an independent, accredited organization that has developed standards, testing, and certification of products and systems that will protect and improve public health. Manufacturers, regulators, and consumers look to the NSF to help keep our food, water, environment, and consumer products safe and healthy. The NSF tests and certifies many small household appliances like water filters, coffee makers, slow cookers, and blenders, assuring proper performance and safety. Those small appliances are tested for quality, durability, and cleanability. The NSF also certifies a few large home appliances with sanitation functions, such as washers, dryers, and dishwashers. Residential dishwashers that have been certified by the NSF will have an NSF/ANSI 184 label. Again, that's an NSF/ANSI 184 label. NSF, remember, stands for National Sanitation Foundation, and ANSI stands for American National Standards Institute. If residential dishwashers have that label, those dishwashers have achieved at least a 99.999% reduction in bacteria during their sanitation cycle. Many common brands, such as KitchenAid, GE, and Bosch, have NSF-certified dishwashers. I'll have a link in the show notes that will take you to a list of NSF-certified residential dishwashers. To earn certification from NSF, clothes washers and dryers must also be able to reduce 99.9% of microorganisms when the unit's sanitization cycle is used. In addition, tests must show that no significant carryover of bacteria will go from load to load. I didn't see a specific list of certified washers and dryers on the NSF website, but they do have a page where you can search certain appliances. To be honest, it's not the easiest page to navigate, but you may have more luck than I did. Bottom line is, if you're wanting an appliance that is NSF certified, look for the NSF label on the appliance itself or on its packaging or manual. Number 8, proper ventilation and air purification. Whole house ventilation systems take stale air out of the house and bring fresh air into the house. Ventilation systems do not remove any particles from the air, but they can help prevent particles and microorganisms from building up in indoor air. Air filtration systems, also called air purification systems, are what take airborne particles and microorganisms out of indoor air. They help purify the indoor air. These systems can greatly reduce, but not completely eliminate, the spread of microorganisms and pollutant particles and fumes in the house. But keep in mind that these systems need to be paired with some of the other measures we've talked about today, since microorganisms are often spread by touch and not just transmitted through the air. There are several air filtration systems on the market that will reduce the number of microorganisms in the home, including ultraviolet light air purification systems and MERV 13, that's MERV 13 or higher air filters. These filters will by no means catch everything. No filter will, but they will catch a significant number of contaminants. Number 9, add a welcome mat at every entrance. To not track outdoor contaminants from your shoes into the house, we would ideally remove shoes as soon as we enter the house. And this is customary in many regions. But if this just isn't how you roll, at least have a welcome mat with a rough surface at each exterior door so you can wipe the bottom of your shoes before entering the house. And I've got a bonus tip for you too that I thought of while I was actually recording this. Add a water filtration system. Some water filtration systems can remove not only unwanted sediment, but also microorganisms. To hear more about water filtration systems, take a listen to episode 66. Before we go, should we do a couple of quiz questions? Yeah, let's do it. Number 1, which material is porous, allowing moisture and microorganisms to seep into it? A, glass, B, quartz, C, unglazed tile, or D, stainless steel? Which material is porous? The answer is C. Unglazed tile is porous and therefore less germ resistant. Glazed tile, however, has a liquid glass-like material fixed to its surface. Remember, glass is non-porous, so the glaze transforms otherwise porous ceramic and porcelain tile to a non-porous material. And number 2, true or false? Copper, bronze, and brass are naturally antimicrobial. That is true. Copper and the copper-containing alloys, bronze and brass, are naturally resistant to illness-causing microorganisms. Well, that's all I have for you. I hope you learned as much as I did. Stay safe and well, and join me next time for another episode of Build Your House Yourself University. BYHYU. Please remember that the purpose of this podcast is simply to educate and inform. It's not a substitute for professional advice. The information that you hear is based only on the opinions, research, and experiences of my guests and myself. That information might be incomplete, it's subject to change, and it may not apply to your project. In addition, building codes and requirements vary from region to region, so always consult a professional about specific recommendations for your home.